got so ugly that one of his best employees quit. After one day of opening, they're now closing back down, only serving a limited number of customers until he says he can figure this whole thing out. It was meant to be a quiet opening at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor in Mashpee to kick off Mother's Day weekend. Still, Friday was anything but business as usual.
One of my best workers quit yesterday. At the end of her shift, she stuck it through the shift. But the word she was called and the language, you wouldn't even say it in a men's locker room. They should be ashamed of themselves. Now I open the doors to a whole new world with gloves and masks and we running around like chickens. But people they're like, where's my ice cream? In the 6 or 7 weeks that they've been confined to their homes, they have no clue how to respect other human beings.
Hi, welcome back to Good Job Mom. Today I'm going to talk to you about our perspective and how we need to just flip it from I have to do it to I get to do it. So the other day I went to get tacos because it was Taco Tuesday. Ow! And Cinco de Mayo all on the same day. Ow! So I went to our local taco Mexican spot. Oh, they're so good. It's so delicious. So, I get there and there's a long line outside and I go and I stand in it. And to be honest, it was my first time that I had to stand in a line for food. But at the same time, I guess I haven't gone to a restaurant yet to pick up food. And it also was Cinco de Mayo on a Taco Tuesday. So of course there was a line, right? Like, hello. So anyway, I'm standing in the line and, people are kind of, getting antsy and they're losing their mind. And they're just talking about how, it's taking too long and it's a zoo inside and all this crazy stuff. I'm chilling. I'm on, my phone, on social media, just scrolling aimlessly and listening to random people, talk or whatever, because I'm nosy. Lines progressing forward, and finally I make it inside, and wow, there are 2 lines inside, and there's a line to actually order there, and then there's another line that if you ordered your food online, you can go there and pick it up. This guy in front of me is just kind of talking trash about how it's taking so long, and he looks at me and he says something and I'm just like, yeah, well, it's a pandemic and everyone is kind of just figuring stuff out, so it's all good, and then he mentions how another restaurant had it all figured out, and I was like, yeah, well, that's a corporation and they have people set in place, teams of people to figure out how to handle a pandemic appropriately and serve people in a quick and easy way, right? And so then he ends up talking about some mom and pop place that's in the area. And I was just like, in my head, because I'm saved and redeemed, in my head, if you have such a problem with waiting at a restaurant to get your food, go home and make your tacos yourself. I mean, I'm confused. Then one day I'm at Starbucks and, this Starbucks closes at 2. I was actually pulling out because I had just received my order, and a Starbucks employee had come outside to the cars that were wrapped around Starbucks to say, hey, we're closed now. We just took our last order. Now listen, Starbucks, the employees could have let you wait in that line and pulled all the way around to the speaker box to tell you that they're closed. But this person came out in drizzling rain, overcast, cold weather to come tell these people in the car, hey, we are closed now. We're very sorry. And this person in the middle of the Starbucks employee speaking, like hadn't even finished her sentence yet, the employee, pulls off. First, she got an attitude with the employee. And then halfway through the employee's sentence, she just pulls off. And so here is what I want to say. In the middle of a pandemic, we need to be kind. And we need to realize that we get to have it. It's a privilege. It is not something that is just given to us. And I'm not taking away that, this has been hard. Maybe, that person who was really mad in the Starbucks line, maybe was having a really rough week and all they wanted was a coffee from Starbucks. Because listen, I can feel you on that. But what about the people that are working there? What kind of week have they had? We're not owed anything. I think that we need to change our perspective. One of the churches that I have served at, something that I loved hearing them say that really helped put me in place was that you don't have to serve, you get to serve. And it kind of just changes your perspective. Instead of feeling like you are giving someone something and that they should owe you in return, flip it, you get to do it. And so I just want us to really think about this. Like, let's take that into, being outside of church. Let's bring that perspective of I get to do this. Let's bring that to our day-to-day lives. We get to work. We get to be with our kids. We may not be able to go to the gym, but we get to exercise at home. We don't like homeschooling, but we can pick up the packets because we get to have people who actually copy and put them together for us, or we get to have our kids do their schoolwork on our cell phones because we actually have them. What a privilege to have a cell phone with internet to be able to even do this. Now, I'm not taking away that this whole experience of, working from home, teaching our kids from home, being, sometimes what feels like isolated from the people that we love to be around. I'm not taking away from that, but it can make the experience better and feel positive because we realize what we're grateful for. I don't get to see my friends in person, but I get to see them online. I don't get to see my friends in person, but I get to talk to them on the phone. I don't get to go out to eat with people, but I get to go to the grocery store and buy actual groceries and come home and cook my food. I get to save on all the sodium that I would usually be eating out by cooking at home. We do have an option to cook for someone and bring some food over and drop it at their porch. We get to serve people in a beautiful way. A lot of us may have not had much time with our kids or our spouses or partners before this, but now we get more time with them. I just want to encourage you to flip your perspective. What are we focusing on that really sucks? But actually, it's not that bad because we get to do it. There's so many things that we feel like we're missing out on, but in actuality, we're not. And just like these people where I was picking food up, like, you realize that you get to come out of your house and buy some food on Taco Tuesday. I mean, really, these restaurants could be shut down, but we get to go there and order, and they have specials. They have specials. And the Starbucks line, okay, you didn't get there in time to get your Starbucks, but I'm sure you have a phone with some internet access and you can find out another Starbucks in the area that might stay open a little later. So I just want to leave you with, instead of asking yourself or feeling like I have to do this, or I wish it was a different situation, what in this situation do you get to do? What in this situation is a privilege? Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any topics that you want me to talk about, please drop them in the comments section. Definitely leave me just a comment. I would love to hear from you guys. Thanks again for joining me, and I will see you next week.